Hello, Self, Cosmos, Ohana, Soul Dr. Nick here. It is Magic Mirror work for Friday, November, probably 21st, 2025, around 12:30, so early afternoon already. Bleh. It's been rainy here. I'm sitting in front of the fire. It's cold, it's muggy, it's foggy. We're getting ready to go. I'm being with so much stuff. I'm listening to Alan Watts, the book this morning, which is really helping me to see that there's an interconnectedness, that time and space doesn't make sense, that the Big Bang doesn't make sense. It's more of the Ouroboros, the circular. There's beginning, there's end, there's high, there's lows, there's light, there's darkness. And then for myself, just being with it all and realizing that the confusion that's going on, whether it's also the death urges, whether it's the dis-ease, whether it's the soreness, whether it's the pains in the body, are part of the collective and part of me as an individual. And the feeling of separateness and unity is all there. And then the ideas that are coming up, my beloved just shared a great one of how do I collaborate with people, including someone like Gabor Mate, to bring some life, some vibrancy into the breaths, into the knowing, into the knowingness of these modalities that are there, and then how to play and to explore and experience just the way it is, just the way it is, just the way it is. And then outside of it all, how to refine, how to calibrate. My dear founding partner Matt has been helping me with all of this, with the website, with the asking me to re-record a video, asking for the free first video, and just being with all the challenges there. And then for myself to notice, such a tension in my body, and then noticing where I want to acquire some things, try out these pans and pots from our place, these titanium pans and pots, how to get some force of nature into Hawaii as well, how to establish a foothold there and see what's going on, how to figure out the rest of our payment for our rent, how to notice our rent here, how to step more into Bitcoin and the prices and the changes and the drops and the uncertainty, how to, even I said to my parents, there's no coincidences. My dad just got his battery for his old phone, and his old phone just expanded, so it actually blew past its battery. So what are the possibilities there? How might that work? Leaving messages for a dear friend who might want to have stay over, leaving messages regarding how to have these interactions, how to create new groups, how to create feedback loops, how to create the feedback loops for the things that I've requested, whether it's from another Matt or whether it's from Andrew, how to actually respond and reply to them, how to respond and reply to people that are there, how to step into prophecy and predictions. Like right now, prophecies and predictions, there's going to be, end of this year, beginning of next year, a lot more uncertainty. More of us are waking up to the ridiculousness of the current situation. And then remembering the foundation of who I am, home, interconnectedness. There's a part of us that sees the brilliance of society as it is right now. Wow, like the efficiencies that are there, the connections that's there, the ability to move around the world in 24 hours. That's ridiculous that we can do that and feel almost completely safe that we can do that. Before, going a couple hundred kilometers, that's dangerous. And there is danger in it, and there's war and there's chaos, and then there's the idea of savings and wealth. Right now, there's so much manipulation that's going on, different interests, special interests, that it's all coming to a head. And how is it going to step through it? How is it going to step through the currency debasement? How is it going to step through the idea that people are wondering, well, why are there jobs being lost? It makes sense. Anyone who has a job right now, I predict that they're wondering, does my job even make sense? Should it even exist? I'm just pushing papers, pens. I am so inefficient at this because it just isn't who I am, but I'm doing because I'm doing it for money. Most of those jobs could likely be replaced by AI because there's a poor fit for person and job as well. And there's a poor fit because that isn't something of interest to many people, or isn't well paid for, isn't well remunerated. And it's recalibrating to what is it that our ancestors have guided us to become living legacies of, to actually provide, do, serve, be in this world at this time. And stepping away from the idea of either I am of service and doing something that is productive, or I am retired and just doing universal basic income and not contributing at all. Like there's this dichotomy that's been created, this universal basic income that sounds like it's already happened in the UK for about 4 million people. We call it a welfare state, but it's neither well or it's fair. Like it's one of those things, and they're talking about why is it that the bus system, the way it is there, even exists, because nobody's happy on there. It's sweaty, it's painful. There's this idea that there's no purpose, that how do you get angry when there isn't purpose, when there isn't structure. And I'm noticing that even in my own life, I both abhor structure in a way, and how do I create the structure that's really needed and wanted? How do I declare what it is that I want to and need to step into, and my own boundaries to be able to do it? Even right now, being on the rooftop patio, I realized I have to be at this moment away from the distractions of family in order to get these thoughts clear again, to actually get a couple things done, to step in and step back, and to step into reading fantasy and back as well. There's a big part of me reestablishing a foothold in the fantasy and the fiction world in order to remember, reimagine, reinvigorate my creative prowess, so to speak. And these mornings of coffee, urine, enema, of listening, of meditating, of being, of resting is so critical. And then reestablishing this diurnal sleeping pattern. I just got reminded of that myself, and then got sent a message from my beloved. These non-native EMFs are really messing with our diurnal sleeping patterns, this waking up in the middle of the night and actually being with that hour of lucidity and what's there, what can be shared, what can be spoken, what can be remembered, what can be read, and then going back to sleep again. And I practiced that last night. And then woke up this morning and just noticing what's there. And then reminding myself, remembering that I'll never have the right answer. There's just gonna be answers that keep coming. And how do I be with that? How do I notice that I haven't integrated yet for my last ceremony? How do I notice that I've been blocking myself for this breath alchemy? And creating these spaces, these tensions, these intentions to step into, to notice that I don't feel fully aligned, fully alive, 10 out of 10, and then to step into 10 out of 10 again. That I can pull myself in many different directions and feel completely lost and hopeless and useless. I have had more than enough education in all the different things, and I'm remembering that the remembrance of things. It is the schools of remembering that need to happen again. It is these graduate schools, these graduate lessons, these graduate courses that need to happen again, that people are choosing to do rather than feeling like they're obliged to do. Oh, I've got to do this thing. And these universities are beautiful hubs of learning, of creativity, when we can actually step back into the learning, the creativity, noticing that they've been funded and founded by special interests that are pulling them in certain ways, that are wanting to be recognized, that are ego-driven. And how do we step back into both, and myself stepping into both being of service, serving at the same time, concurrently, recognizing we've been given the gift of the way our life is, the way our resources are, the way we have support, the way we are supported, the trust that we have, the trust that I have. And then stepping into the discomfort of all. There's a discomfort in my gut, in my neck, in my head. There's an uneasiness, there's a tension in my neck, in my hands, in my forearms. And then just being with all that without making it right or wrong. And as I speak into it, step into it, what do I want to detox? How do I want to detox? What beliefs do I want to hold? And noticing the beliefs that want to come through, the patterns that want to come through, even in the parenting, even in the relationship. Like there's a part that's like, this is the way parenting is supposed to go. This is the way we're supposed to imbue safety into the next generation. And recognizing there's a difference between the mother and the father. My job is to help my son transition from boyhood to manhood. And how do I do that? I've got to step into that myself. There's parts that I haven't actually stepped from boyhood into manhood. And being conscious and aware and compassionate and kind with myself. I'm reparenting myself while honoring my parents, while honoring the places that they couldn't parent or didn't know how to parent, or we've been doing these things over and over again. And then thank the lineages that have led to this point of the reparenting and the repatterning. And then stepping into the brilliance of myself. There's such a mind here that's going through a mind fuckery right now. And there's so many minds out there that are going through mind fuckeries, that are dancing through these hoops, that are being entrepreneurs or workers when they shouldn't be entrepreneurs at this moment, shouldn't be workers at this moment. How do we step back? How do we take sabbaticals? How do we actually take time off, real time off in the ways that we can, and then actually step into it fully when we can? Realizing there's days that are so much that happens, and it could just be a really conscious connection with some really cool people. And how do I get lost in certain thoughts and certain patterns and certain wants and certain desires and certain non-wants and certain non-desires as well? So many different things. I'm going to play with them all. I'm going to go back down. I'm going to recalibrate. And if there is something to re-record, to re-remember, to redo, to repattern, I'm going to allow myself, support myself, guide myself to get back into it. Thank you. Ciao for now.